Hello everyone and welcome back to the United Star. Today we have Prashant Nair here from MUFC India and we have a very special episode of the Champions League. We're going to cover what the teams are looking like, what the groups will shape up to be, and Prashant here knows everything you need to know about European football. So let's see where this discussion goes and let's see which groups he thinks are going to be the tightest. So Prashant, let's start with Group A of the draw. They're defending
Yep.
champions Bayern Munich, a
Mhm.
rejuvenated Atleti with old forces, Salzburg and CSK Moscow. What are you expecting out of this group?
I'm expecting Bayern to win all games. Uh, that's just understood, right? I mean, Robert Forgolowski is on fire yet again. It's pretty sad for him that there was no Ballon d'Or celebrations last year. I mean, this year specifically, because he definitely deserved it. Someone who's been knocking on the doors for quite some time, and people have always said that, apart from that one game at Madrid where he scored 4 goals, what else has he done? Last year, he showed what exactly he's capable of. That's why I say Bayern Munich should easily go through this round. And special credit to Hansi Flick, coming back as a manager who you have always been a second choice all your life. All your life you've been second choice to so many great people. He picked up the best from every people. And once he started managing Bayern Munich, he did only one thing which a lot of managers don't do, which is to play the players at the natural position.
Yeah.
People forget that Thomas Muller was having a pretty bad season till January, and then Flick came and we all saw what Thomas Muller was in Champions League. It was the Muller which we all saw when we were growing up. And then coming back to Atletico Madrid, I feel sad for
Prashant, I just want to say one
sorry,
thing here. Hansi
yeah,
Flick, people
Hmm.
don't know that this man has been assistant manager for all his life. And
Yeah,
it's almost like he's come out of this cocoon as a full grown manager and said, here I am. I am a
yeah,
manager and I'm going to prove it. And with Bayern
true.
Munich, they've had another reinforcement. They've got Leroy Sané in as well. And we know how good Leroy Sané is. We've seen it in the Premier League firsthand. His pace, his attacking ability, and his instinct is phenomenal.
I mean, Bayern Munich are one of the most well-run football clubs in the world. We all know it, right? I mean, we are United fans. We know how much of an impact is a well-run football club does because we are on the receiving end of it. Bayern Munich is so well-run. They realize that what I cannot. A couple of years back, who were their wingers? Robin and Ribery. They have immediately replaced with Serge Gnabry, Kingsley Coman to a certain extent. Now Leroy Sané. They exactly know that what I need to keep reinforcing my squad. James Rodriguez, who played for them for a 2-year loan deal, so they know how to plug their gaps. But an interesting aspect of for the whole Bayern Munich team is, do they have the firepower to do it yet again?
Yeah.
See, it's different to win it once. A club of Bayern's stature should be winning the Champions League much more than what they have already won. Sad they were undone by many injuries, bad luck, loss in finals, etc. But it will be interesting to see if they have the firepower to win it yet again, because some of the teams in other groups have reinforced, like Manchester United.
So,
Yeah,
so
but
Prashant, let me put you
jokes apart,
under.
yeah,
Let me put you under the heat already. Do you think they can go all the way once again?
no,
Okay,
I'll be very honest, no.
okay. What do you make of
I have a
Atletico?
I have a surprise I have a surprise Champions League winner
We, we'll
if I
wait.
have to predict now.
We'll wait for them to come in the group. That time you can tell me. we we have
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid in the
Mhm.
same group as Bayern. My view on
Yeah.
Atletico is this. Tell me if you agree with this or no. I think
Mm.
Diego Simeone is a little bit past it. He
Mm.
plays with the underdog tag when he no more is an underdog. So people
Mm.
expect Atletico to play a certain way, and they can do it on some nights. Like Liverpool know very well that they can do it on some nights.
Yeah.
But you cannot expect Luis Suarez and Diego Costa to do what they did 10 years ago, and you cannot expect Joao Felix to defend.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You I completely agree with you. I am sick and tired of the underdog tag which Atletico Madrid carries right now. I mean, you will always be an underdog in a league where you have Real Madrid and Barcelona. Even if you put Manchester United in that, you will always be an underdog because they're two big clubs. You'll always be an underdog. But get out of it now. You're right. Diego Simeone has passed it. Somewhere down the line, he had a good 3-4 years where he could have left Atletico Madrid and gone to the next big club which was available. But anyways, let's not go into that. But yeah, I mean, Luis Suarez, no matter how much ever you say, one of the best goal scorers in the last decade. I'll be very stupid if I say that no, he's a racist, whatever. He's a top goal scorer. That man knows how to score goals and score goals of all kinds. Diego Costa, I don't know what's up with him because When I saw him at Chelsea, I was like, this is the striker I want at Manchester United. The guy who will want to win much more than the team has got the desire to win. I said that to Abhishek also the other day, that sometimes there are strikers who don't need a moment for themselves to start winning. They will create their own moments. That's what was Diego Costa was for Chelsea, but now he's past it. Joao Felix, 100 million plus signing. I still think he's living under the pressure. This might be his breakthrough season. We don't know, but I don't consider Atletico Madrid as the underdog anymore because everyone knows what Cholo is going to do. He's going to come out. He's going to play that procrastinating way of football. This is exactly. He's in a similar stage like Jose Mourinho is or was 4 5 years back, where he was past it but still came back with the siege mentality thing.
Hmm.
I don't think Atletico Madrid are special anymore. But having said that, they still have a decent enough squad.
But do you think
They will.
Salzburg can cause an upset and Atletico might go out of the group here?
The biggest nemesis of Salzburg is Salzburg themselves. Okay, they can hit the ground running for fun. Like yesterday, they spanked some German team 7-2. One of the most exciting prospects, Daka, scored a brace. Their biggest problem is themselves. And the reason why I say it is they are so addicted to play flair kind of football. It's not good. In Europe, teams who play like flair brand of football, there will be someone who'll say, you know what, cut their wings. They don't have that experience to pull off. And we all know that Bayern Munich are going to be ruthless.
Hmm.
Let's face it, right? I mean, they're like this big bazooka in that league where they'll come and they just blow everyone off.
Hmm.
That's what Bayern Munich does. And Bayern Munich will be expected to do the same in Europe, which I think they will in the group stages at least. Then you have Atletico, who's an entirely opposite of that, who will just put the shield and say, you know what, come attack. I'll just have one chance. I'll go and attack
Hmm.
in a mix. So there are two extremities already in that group, and in between is Salzburg. So they have to play super extra flair football against Atletico to win, and against Bayern Munich, if they don't watch their guard, Bayern Munich will just spank them and they'll just walk over them.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I think it's difficult for them to progress because to get a right balance, they don't have that good enough manager, uh, and nor do they have the squad.
Right. So for
Sadly,
you in this group, it's going to be Bayern 1, Atletico 2, Salzburg to
yeah,
Europa, and CSK Moscow out completely.
yeah,
I'd be very
completely,
surprised if CSK Moscow even win a game. But let's move on to Group B.
yeah.
Real Madrid here look like the clear favorites, with
Yep.
Inter Milan probably taking the second place, or do you think Borussia Mönchengladbach have something in them to pull off a win?
This is my favorite group, to be very honest with you. For a couple of reasons. One, because I'm very excited to see Inter Milan as a neutral or as a football fan. I don't like Antonio Conte at all as a manager because, okay, fine, I don't want to get into it. So he's everything which I hate about football. Okay, Antonio Conte is a perfect combination of that. But having said that, Antonio Conte's record in Europe hasn't been great. We all know it, right? He's a bottler in the European stage. He can win cup games, he can win leagues, but doesn't have anything to show show for his success in Europe. And that's why I think it'll be a very important season for Antonio Conte. And also, especially, he's coming off a rift with the board.
Yeah.
He wanted to leave in between, so the board gave him all the players what he wanted to a certain extent.
Yeah.
He's got Ericsson, but players are not happy with him, and hence it becomes more exciting for me because on the other side of the group there is someone by the name of Zinedine Zidane, who apparently is just waiting for Champions League to start because he said that publicly that it's one of the biggest stages, biggest competitions in world football, and the club of Real Madrid should win it again and again. And he will be expecting to win. Imagine this will be the first window ever where Madrid haven't signed someone since 1980. For every window they go out and buy, and that's how big a football club Real Madrid is. And winning Champions League thrice is not everyone's cup of tea. You win it once, you're special. You win it twice, you're great. But once you win it thrice as a manager,
In a
you
row.
are in a row, exactly in a row. Then I mean you're of a different league altogether. And this is interesting because Real Madrid are without Ronaldo for a couple of seasons now.
Hmm.
For a team who's always been labeled as Ronaldo's Real Madrid, it's time for them to break the shackle now.
Hmm. Yeah. Especially in
Last
the
year,
Champions League.
exactly. I mean, last year when people slate Rafael Varane for those two mistakes at Manchester City, and I had a lot of friends who said that you said that he's one of the best defenders in the world. What happened to him? I was like, do you remember any other mistakes of Rafael Varane? I don't. If you ask me, let's say Harry Maguire's mistake, I'll tell you which game. But if
Which
you ask
minute?
me Rafael, yeah, which minute? Or if you ask me Rafael Varane's mistake, I don't remember because he's that complete of a defender. Fine, he had one of those bad games, bad nights, and the worst possible stage to have
Yeah,
it.
you know, in
So
fact, I had messaged a friend that what I'd give to have Varane at United. He's probably the best defender after Ramos. And then he
yeah,
replied to my message saying after that game you were saying, and I was like, yeah, but like, yeah, he is. I mean, they have one of the best combinations as well in
yeah,
defense because they've got Ramos, who's absolutely brilliant. Courtois has risen his game as well.
yeah,
He's showing why they bought him. You know, he's been
mm,
fantastic.
yeah.
Benzema is showing as to what everyone knew almost that he
You
is
know,
a brilliant
Benzema is like
striker.
Shane Watson of CSK. You know, he knows that I have experience on my side. There are moments in my game where I'll have to do what no one else can do. That's exactly what Benzema does. I'm excited to see Eden Hazard if he's fit enough to even start firing all cylinders. People berate Hazard so much, saying that he's fat. I don't know why did he go to Madrid. But Eden Hazard on his day lit up the Premier League. I mean, let's face it, that man can turn games on his head.
Yeah.
And you talk about what kind of finish do you need? You need low cross finish, you need top corners, you need someone to cut in and score goals. As a United fan, I used to hate facing Chelsea because he loves the big games. Eden Hazard loves the big games and he will always turn up.
Yeah.
And he's a player tailor made for Real Madrid. And that's why I think that Real Madrid, obviously Real Madrid are going to go through the group stage. But in the second place, I think Inter will go through. Now coming back to Borussia Mönchengladbach, the the fact of the matter is this group is a bit more trickier because you don't know what to expect from first Antonio Conte. He can blow hot and cold,
Yeah.
right? Imagine a team who played one of the most attacking footballs in Europe last year again and went to Europa League final, and we all saw what Sevilla did to them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, Sevilla just played very smart football, but Mönchengladbach are a smart team. They play the very street smart way of football. So they play a very wide attacking football. They go around the wings and they put the crosses, etc.
Mm.
But it's too much of an ask to push the heavyweight of Madrid and Inter because one is Romelu Lukaku is in the form of his life. Okay, we all know as a United fans that Romelu Lukaku may not be the greatest striker, but Romelu Lukaku means goals. He will score goals here or there, and it's Lukaku's goals versus Zidane's vigor to win the Champions League, and in between is a small Borussia Mönchengladbach team. It's a group of heavyweight, and hence it makes this group even more special for me because when no one gives you a chance, then you are going to play fearless football. That's
Yeah.
exactly what Atlanta did. You know, that's exactly what so many small teams have done in Champions League, and that's what makes Champions League so special.
Right.
But then there is Shakhtar Donetsk in that group, a poor feeder club for many of the top clubs in the world.
Mm.
So everyone will be looking at Shakhtar Donetsk to identify who is the next big prospect.
Yeah.
I mean, so many teams have picked up good players from Shakhtar Donetsk. Salah, not Salah, Fred. There's so many good players, like who played for Shakhtar Donetsk, who did well in Champions League, and then they got the next big move.
Yeah. So for you, I think from you and me both, I think it's going to be a Madrid first, Milan second finish.
Yes,
Let's
yes,
move to Group
easily.
C, the most obvious. Let's not even talk about the fact that City are going to be first, but
Yeah.
there's Porto, Olympiacos, and Marseille. Now,
Hmm.
this is not as easy. This is not a write-off. For City, the
Yeah.
group is a write-off, but between these three teams, who do you think is going to come second?
Personally, I think Porto will go out the first. I don't think Porto are going to qualify because Alex Telles is coming to United one. Second thing, the league is in a bit of disarray for the Portuguese league, so I don't think Porto will go through. It's a tough competition for me to choose somewhere between Olympiacos and Marseille because I have seen Marseille play for quite some time. Marseille don't play a very high brand or high firepower football, but Marseille know how to get the job done.
Hmm.
All right, and with Marseille has got enough experience in Champions League to know what is to be done.
Yeah.
So I think Marseille will go through. Uh,
They have some
top,
quality players as well, Prashant, in
yeah.
Paye and Thovan. They have some decent players there.
So first and foremost, Marseille as a club has always been a good club. Okay, I mean we hate Marseille as United fans because of what they did to us to a certain extent, and obviously Marseille are not some pushovers. They drew yesterday 1-1 with Lyon. Okay, they have got a good squad. I think they are managed by Andre Villas-Boas, who is having a renaissance kind of a period in Ligue 1, right? So they are a decent team. They will. So they will not be like a pushover or a write-off, like you said, but it's too much of City here. I mean, that's why I don't want to mention it. I don't know how did City get this group. It's like so tailor-made for them. Even last year, everyone said that this is so tailor-made for City to win the Champions League, etc., etc. Still, they bottled it. But
Now they've
I,
gone on
I,
spend more on their defense, so maybe this year they'll get to the semis.
yeah, they'll get to the semis and again bottle it,
Yeah.
hopefully. But yeah, I think Marseille should go through. Olympiacos, no man. I mean, just because of let's say that I'm a bit biased towards Marseille,
No, also
and
I think there are a couple of points with Olympiacos here. Olympiacos are that club that get to the Champions League because in the Greek side there's a Greek league. There's a very little competition. Let's face
correct.
it.
Yeah,
Olympiacos, Krasnodar, Freves, Kovacic, these clubs are here only
yeah,
because
hmm,
their leagues don't have enough competition. And I
correct.
think Olympiacos is going to go back to the Europa League, and that's where they'll make a run for it.
Yeah, but like you said, someone like a Dimitri Payet, he's too good to play for Marseille.
Yeah.
But we know how temperamental he is, and he's a special player. And I think Marseille are going to see first and foremost this league. The problem with this group is that one is City, who already know they have gone and done it. So I don't know what kind of approach are City going to take it. I don't think they're going to play a full strength team, considering how complicated Premier League is this year, which gives them that extra leverage to try and test their young people. But for other three teams, they will have to play full strength, not to beat City, but to fend off competition from each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're going to try and make. So, for example, if an Olympiacos gets a draw with Marseille at away stage, it's a win for them. Because which technically means Marseille will have to win against both City, either home or away. And I think who else is in the other group?
And Porto.
Porto.
Yeah.
Porto.
Yeah.
Right. So, if someone draws here in this group out of these three teams, if they draw each other somewhere, that will be a loss for them because they will want to win it
Yeah.
and try and finish second so that see, anyways they're going to face the next big team, which is who is going to finish first. So they are going to face some big one of them will go out of this. So
Yeah.
and hence they'll try to win it both home and away, or else it's a big ask for someone like a Olympiacos or a Porto, for that matter of fact, to go through the
So,
stage.
this group is going to look like City, Marseille, Olympiacos, and Porto. I agree with that. I'm not sure
Yeah,
whether Porto will finish last, but yeah, it's possible. The
yeah,
next group is what you have been touting as the group of death:
yeah,
Liverpool, Ajax, Atalanta, and Midtjylland.
yeah.
Why do you think this is the group of death?
The reason why I think it's a group of death is people think that, oh my God, Liverpool are in this group. It's such a easy group, etc., etc. That's because of the standard of football which Liverpool have set. They are on a rampage, unlike last night. But yeah, let's face it that Liverpool have played the most attractive, attacking, and the most complete brand of football, at least in the last 18 months or so.
Hmm.
Let's at least give that. Let's at least give that credit to Liverpool Football Club, right?
Yeah.
And having said that, in their group, they have what? Ajax, Atlanta, and Michelin. Ajax have sold Donny van de Beek. They have sold Joel Veltman, Serginho Dest. Apart from that, they have also gotten replacements. But, Ajax are going to be a selling club. They
Yeah.
will sell players. They will sell players. They will replace them. And, somewhere down the line, I feel that it will not be a pushover. Just selling Donny van de Beek will not
They've
guarantee
sold
you.
Ziyech as well.
Yeah, I mean Ziyech and all fine. I mean it's okay. That's what Ajax have been doing, right, Prashant? Is it the first time are we seeing it? Ajax always sells players. Ajax always goes and replaces them. Okay, but the interesting part of this group for me is Atalanta.
Hmm.
Just one minute. Sorry,
Yeah.
Niche hai. Interesting part of this group for me is Atlanta because uh, I mean, it was one of those years last year where Atlanta, kind of gave everything what they had. They did everything. It's interesting to see if they have in them again to try and win it again. So they are the CSK of this group. All 30 plus players, experienced lot. Do they have the energy to go out and push it again or not? Papu Gomez is still not back.
Yeah.
He's on his medical leave for the reasons for the reasons which he has mentioned. Then there is Michelin. No one is remembering who
There's no
Michelin
Ilicic
are.
as well.
There's no Ilicic as well. Yeah, there's no Ilicic as well. No one is remembering Michelin. Michelin are that team who uses data to analyze football players and teams, and then they sign. They're a very smart team. Of course, in this big names, they're nowhere in terms of European glory, etc., etc. The reason why I said this is the group of death is because there are four unpredictable teams in this group. Okay, four of them are like a year back. Did you imagine someone like Aston Villa to spank 7 goals past City,
Liverpool.
past Liverpool? Sorry, no, right? That's because Klopp's brand of football does come with a risk, which is called as unexpected returns and unexpected failures. That's exactly what.
Also, Prashant, the other thing I
Yeah,
want to add here is that Jurgen Klopp, we've seen this at Dortmund as well. After he
yeah,
has 2 or 3 good seasons, his players do start to implode because of how much he demands out of them. And Liverpool have
correct.
gotten reinforcements, but there is no substitutes for Salah, Mane. There are no substitutes for that defense. So it is possible that this team has been run to the ground already, and we might not see those increasing returns that you are saying.
A very good point what you made, that they don't have any replacements for Salah, Mane, and Firmino. Imagine Firmino hasn't scored for what, a year and a half now. Yeah, I think last game he scored was in Anfield, the last game of the season. But apart from that, he hasn't done anything significant. He doesn't have a replacement for him, a proper replacement. Yes, they have added in the midfield reinforcements, like you said. Thiago Alcantara is great, Jota is good, but like we saw yesterday, or we have been seeing, remove Van Dijk from that squad. Forget Van Dijk. They only removed Allison yesterday, and we saw this team just implode. And it was self-destruction.
Right.
Adrian
So,
was self-destructing Liverpool, right?
so Prashant, then I want
That's
to
one.
ask
Second is
you.
Ajax. Sorry. Just one last point.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
want to add something about Ajax. Okay, Ajax are a well-run football club. We all know it. They had one of the golden periods getting into Champions League of semi-final of Champions League. But don't expect them just because they sold their players. Okay, fine, you come beat me. I'll just say because I'm in rebuild stage. Ajax
Yeah,
are not that club.
yeah.
Ajax are not like any other club in the world who will say, you know what, I'm in a rebuild stage, so I'm happy with a quarter final of Champions League. No, they are in rebuild stage, and they have been through this time and time again. And Edwin van der Sar knows what it takes to rebuild a club, and he's been doing it successfully for years. So for me personally, in this group, I think Liverpool and Atlanta will go through. Uh, you know, Ajax will come third because somewhere down the line, lack of quality players will stop them from making that final push.
Hmm.
The reason why I say Atlanta is because Liverpool, so they'll have to beat two opponents comfortably. Their brand of football is so attacking, and it's no mercy. So they will beat a Michelin and they will beat an Ajax. I have no doubts about that. But
Right,
until unless European nights are special, right? So it can turn around here and there. And hence I say this is the group of death for me.
right. I agree with you. I think Ajax will do one over Atlanta because, as you said, Atlanta are missing some of their key players yet. I don't know when they're going to come back
Hmm.
or how this is going to work. So I feel that Ajax might get
Yeah.
through, but I think between Ajax and Atlanta, it's a toss of a
Hmm.
coin. I think between them, whoever wins that game will go
Yeah.
through basically. Now let's go to
Go
Group
through.
E.
Yeah.
We've got 2 years running Europa League winners with Sevilla and Chelsea there, and they've been
Yeah.
paired with Krasnodar and Rennes. So do you just think Sevilla and Chelsea are going to go through?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Why are we even discussing it? No disrespect to the other team, but it's just two powerhouses put in one. When I say powerhouses, I'm comparing that group itself to two powerhouses. Chelsea have gone out and done business as if someone has given them vouchers and they just bought from Amazon. I mean, they just strengthen everywhere apart from their midfield, where they will, I think, sign someone today in the deadline day because they are bored. The window is open one more day, so I have to sign someone in the midfield. So they will sign someone. Sevilla. So a special mention to Sevilla. The coach of Sevilla was ex Real Madrid, ex Spain coach. The guy left Spain coach to be Real Madrid. He became manager, sacked. It was a season of redemption for him last year. He won the Europa.
Yeah.
It was a message to everyone in the world that I am here to stay. Just don't consider me as someone who was sacked by Madrid, which makes this match very interesting for Sevilla versus Chelsea for me because I
So who
mean
finishes first?
I think Sevilla will finish first.
Oof. Because Lampard is not good enough.
I didn't want to make it sound that obvious, but yeah, you're right. One, second, I don't think Sevilla are just meant to play Europa all their life. we saw last season, right?
It would seem
You know,
so that they are meant to play Europa all their life.
they are the Real Madrids of Europa.
Yeah,
They're a team in between. They are good enough for Champions League, but not good enough to win it. They are too good for Europa.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, like we said during the Group B discussion as well, right? You can't beat Inter Milan that easily.
Yeah.
It's not like I'll park the bus. Okay, come Inter, attack me. One fine day, I'll get one chance. I'll go and attack. No, you can't do that to Inter Milan. They are going to attack you. They beat Inter. Look how they beat us also. I mean, obviously the keeper had one of the great nights possibly in his career, but they beat us tactically. Okay, so I think Sevilla will definitely do one over Chelsea because of the tactics which Lopetegui will deploy, which Lampard will not.
right.
But if
So,
Chelsea win, it will be individual brilliance of Kai Havertz and Timo Werner.
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you that I think Chelsea's squad is better, but I think Sevilla are
Yeah,
much better organized team, and
correct.
that is why they might go do one over
Yeah,
Chelsea.
yeah.
Now we
I
come to
remember,
another.
sorry, Sevilla have let go of Ever Banega this
Yeah,
year. He's gone to Saudi Arabian club.
yeah, that's a
So
big
that's
loss.
an interesting place. Yeah.